So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another session of ClearIAS classes. Before starting, let me ask you everyone whether the audio is clear to you. Hello. You can type in the chat section if the audio is if it's clear. Yeah, fine. Thanks. Okay. Let us straight away start the session. Thank you. Straight away start the session by sharing the screen. Just a minute. Is the screen visible to you all? You can type in the chat section if the screen is visible. Just a minute. Okay. Thank you all for coming to this session. Today, the topic which we are dealing is how to read the Hindu newspaper in less than 60 minutes for UPSC Civil Services examination. And this is the topic. I cannot hear anything from you probably because since all of your microphones are muted. I request not to share the video. You can turn off your videos now, but at times if you want to speak anything, you can speak in between, because I prefer a more interactive kind of session. So you can speak in between, but in anything else you can chat in the session as well. Chat in the chat box. Okay. Can you turn off your videos? Whoever is there, can you turn off your videos? Okay. Yeah. So, topic of today's session is how to read the Hindu newspaper in less than 60 minutes. Let me move to the next slide. So this is what we'll be discussing in this session. We'll discuss whether we should read a newspaper or not, and then we'll see why should you read the Hindu. Then we'll see how to read Hindu faster for UPSC Civil Services examination in less than 60 minutes. And then we'll see how you can improve your reading speed and areas to focus on the Hindu. And finally, for all participants in this session, we'll give an extra discount code that can be used to purchase Hindu e-paper. So these are things, but the discount code will deal at the end of the session, and this is how we'll progress this session. Okay. So Kunal has raised his hand. Let me ask Kunal what he wants. Kunal, yeah, you can speak up. Do you have something to say? Anybody else has anything to say? Anything to add here? Because we feel an interactive session will be helpful for all. Okay, I think since nobody has anything to say, let's straight away go into the session. So this topic is all about the Hindu newspaper reading, and this is something Hindu newspaper is something which is of considered of high priority by many aspirants. Reading Hindu, that's something a daily habit of most aspirants. But the problem is that reading Hindu takes a lot of time. For many aspirants, it takes 3 to 4 hours, and for some other aspirants, it will be something like 6, 7, 8 hours. They spend on Hindu newspaper whole day. So they are not getting time to read anything, the NCRT textbooks or standard textbooks or any other sources. They are not getting time because most of the time they are spending on the Hindi newspaper. But ideally, that should not be the case. For a smart aspirant like you, who is doing the smart work, the Hindu newspaper can be finished with respect to UPSC preparation. Okay, I'm not saying you can read from page 1 to last page within 60 minutes or something, but whatever areas that is relevant for UPSC, that you can cover within 60 minutes. So this session is to help you understand how you can cover Hindu newspaper in less than 60 minutes. That's it. Moving to the next slide. I shall give a brief introduction about myself so that you will be able to understand more about myself as well as ClearIAS. I am the founder and director of the online learning platform, ClearIAS. You might be familiar with ClearIAS. Almost 10 lakh aspirants visit ClearIAS on a monthly basis to study for UPSC exams. We have both free as well as premium resources on the ClearIAS. We have many resources. For example, we have free online notes. We have ebooks are there. We have mock exams, and we also have online classes. So as of now, you are attending one such online class, which we are providing for free for all aspirants who are interested to attend ClearIAS classes. This is part of our online classroom training program. And you might have come across these two books in Amazon. The book about important judgments and about important acts. These are books which are written by myself to help aspirants prepare for the polity section. Polity. This is not only useful for polity, but for example, the important acts. Acts is something which comes in the general studies paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, and paper 4 with respect to mains. So it is not only useful for polity, but across all papers in mains. So these are just two books which I have authored, and I'm straight away going into the session. This is the first thing which I want you to ponder. Should you read a newspaper or not? I just want all of you to answer. You can use the chat box. This is the first question which I am asking you. Should you read newspapers nowadays? This is the age. This is the age of a lot of free study materials are there. There are many alternatives to newspapers. There are videos are there. If I say some of the alternatives, okay, you will be getting monthly current affairs magazines, which will be having all the current affairs details of last 1 month. You will be getting daily news analysis out there, daily editorial analysis. Many such kind of articles are there, and there will be video kind of videos are also there for daily news analysis, daily editorial analysis, monthly current affairs, all this. In spite of all these, do you think that reading newspaper is essential? What is your opinion? I'm going through the chats. Yes, most of the aspirants prefer, they need to read newspapers. I have never come across anyone who is not saying that reading newspaper is not necessary. Everyone is of the same opinion. They think that, yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Almost everyone, 100% of the aspirants in this particular session, they feel that reading newspapers is necessary. That's a good sign. Okay. With that question, let's move to the next slides and see the answer of this particular question along with certain other aspects, important aspects. So before going deep into the session, I want to you all to focus on three areas, three terms. Okay, just three terms I am giving significance in this session. The first term is return on investment, or ROI. The second term is smart work, and the third term is UPSC syllabus. So these are the three terms which I will be repeating again and again in this session. The three terms are return on investment, smart work, and UPSC syllabus. This should be connected with whatever things you are learning in the 1.5 years from now onwards for UPSC preparation. It should be connected with newspapers, it should be connected with NCRT books, it should be connected with standard textbooks or whatever materials you learn online and offline. This is something which you should always keep in your mind. You should always focus on the return on investment, smart work, and UPSC syllabus. I shall explain how you can connect each of these things, each of these concepts with whatever you are learning. Okay. Now I'm moving to the next slide. But before that, can anyone from this group explain me what you understand by the term return on investment? Can anyone from the group help me understand that? What do you understand by the term return on investment? Then we shall move to smart work. Then we shall move to UPSC syllabus, and then we shall proceed. Okay. Anybody, you can even use the voice option also, so that it will be much more live. You can even use the voice option. Output, okay, Rahul is mentioning output of our effort, that is return on investment. Okay. Anything else? Any other inputs? Please come live, because there is no need to be afraid. You should be able to take initiatives. Nobody will mock you. This is a very free session. Okay, this is a very live session. This is a part of our mentorship program. So you can come out and say, what do you understand by the return on investment? You can use a chat session, or even you can use the voice output also. If anybody needs to speak out, and if the voice is not enabled, please raise your hands. I can unmute you. Okay. Shivani is saying, whatever time one is investing, he or she should be able to focus on the results out of it. Okay, a good point. Any other inputs regarding return on investment? Okay. Let me explain this. Okay, let me explain the concept of return on investment. Return on investment just means what is the return you are getting on your investment. So what are you investing into? What are you investing? Okay, you are investing your time, you are investing your efforts, and you are investing your financial resources. Okay, time, effort, and money. These three are you are mainly investing. So if you are investing these three, what is the return you will be getting? Okay, so before investing any of these three, be it time, be it your effort, or be it your money, think that what will be the return you get out of that investment. This you should ask yourself before attempting anything. This is highly relevant across your life, across all areas in your life. But this is also very important with respect to UPSC preparation also. So before taking up a new textbook, before watching a new video, before attending a new session, before going behind any free resources or paid resources available online or offline, take some time and think, what will be my return on investment of that particular topic, of that particular thing. Okay, that one particular thing. This is the return on investment. So before reading a newspaper also, you should ask this question: what will be my return on investment? We'll see that. We'll see each of these concepts later. This is basically about return on investment. Hope you all understood the concept return on investment. Is that clear? You can use the chat box. Why is the crowd so silent? Is it because this is an afternoon session and you feel sleepy or something? Everybody had food? Yeah, now the group is active. Yeah, good. Hope you understood the concept. Okay, then I shall explain the concept of smart work also. Smart work, everybody knows what is hard work. Okay, the importance of hard work is very often repeated, that to do something great, we need to do hard work. Okay, but along with that, an equally important concept is smart work. Okay, even if you are doing hard work, sometimes that may not help you achieve success in one particular thing. Those who are doing smart work along with hard work, they will be successful. This is something extra or something which uses common sense or some intelligence and doing it differently. The same thing, but it can be done differently, and that is smart work. I shall explain what is smart work with an example. Okay. Uh, okay. You as an aspirant, you are supposed to learn something like 6 hours to 8 hours per day for the whole 1 year, 1.5 year. Most aspirants study something like that. At least they put 6 to 8 hours every day. So it is take an example of a candidate. Let us name him candidate A, and he studies 6 to 8 hours all the subjects in the UPSC syllabus. There are many subjects in the UPSC syllabus, so he devotes all time proportionately with respect to each subject, and he studies. Okay, he studies for 6 hours per day. But let's take another candidate, candidate B, and he studies 8 hours. He is much more hardworking than candidate A. Candidate A studies only for 6 hours, but candidate B, he is much more hardworking and he studies for 8 hours per day. But what is he studying? He for the 8 hours he's studying just current affairs. Okay, he's just studying current affairs. He's also doing hard work, but what is he focusing? He's focusing only the current affairs. But despite the hard work, he will not be able to clear this exam because he's focusing only one particular area in UPSC. Okay, so he's not doing smart work. He's doing hard work. But hard work alone will not help unless you are focused, unless you are doing it in the smart way. This is the area. So hope all of you are clear with the difference between smart work and hard work. So just alone doing hard work does not may not always help you succeed. The area where you are putting the effort, the proportion of your effort, the prioritization. There are not many other things. We'll deal each of those things in the coming slides, and this is also very much important. Okay. Now let me take the third concept. The third concept is UPSC syllabus. The UPSC syllabus says that why I mentioned UPSC syllabus in the newspaper reading session is because whether it is newspaper reading, whether it is dealing with any other current affairs topics or any static topics, you should always link that with the UPSC syllabus. So what is the significance of the new topic which you are studying with respect to UPSC syllabus? This is something we should always think about, okay, before taking any new topic. So even while reading newspapers, you should connect back with the UPSC syllabus, and accordingly you should be planning, because only if you know UPSC syllabus, you will be knowing the priority areas, whether that particular topic needs to be given extra focus or not. That depends on whether it is mentioned or it is connected with the UPSC syllabus. Okay, now let me take you all to the next slide. So this is the question which I asked in the beginning. I'm bringing all you to again the same point. Now in this particular age, this is 2021, right? So we now have many alternatives to newspapers. There are monthly current affairs magazines out there. If you go to YouTube, you will be getting daily news, editorial analysis, PAB, just a lot many things are there. So despite all this, all the candidates in this particular session, you prefer that, yeah, along with that, newspaper also should be read. That's correct. That's correct. So let me ask you, why you should be reading newspapers, since you already having these alternatives, but why do you think that reading newspapers are essential? Can you again go to the chat section and mention why do you think that reading newspapers are essential? What is your take on that? Everybody agreed with me that newspapers should be read, but what is the benefit you are getting? If in capsule format, if you are getting all the other things as shortcuts, then why should you be spending your time on newspapers? What is the benefit? What do you think? Please write expression. Be expressive. That will help you in mains and interview. Feel free to express your opinion. Please use the chat section, or if you want to speak up, just raise your hands. I will unmute you. Why do you think newspapers should be read? Waiting for your replies. Yeah, responses are coming. Great. While going through the newspaper, one is able to build a unique perspective. Shivani is saying that, yeah, build a unique perspective of their own on current issues of importance. Good, good. And what is Janani Priya? Okay, having our own points from understanding. It is much more better than the other materials. Good, good point. Improves vocabulary and perspectives about an event. Sunil says, great. Uh, what is Rahul's opinion? Improves analytical skills. Great, excellent. Which is required for answer writing. Great. Rahul Menon, great point. Great point. Any other inputs? Any other inputs? Internet gives tentative ideas. Newspaper analysis gives such informed decision. Nirupama Natarajan. Good. Okay. Different perspectives. Great, great. Thank you for being responsive. Exposure to formal reading, Rahul. It makes us to think about different aspects about our own self. Our own self. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that is also a valid point. Adira says, will help us in mains and essay writing session as it helps in forming our own opinion regarding various issues. Okay, great point, Adira. Great point. And what is Sanchit Badraj says, helps develop consistency for new aspirants and is relatively easier task. Okay, good point. More ideas for answer writing and depth information for any specific topic, Harshita. Okay, good. Thank you all. So yeah, everybody expressed different opinion regarding why you should read newspaper. We got different perspectives that why you all think that reading newspapers is necessary. That's good. Now I understand that you are a crowd, very serious aspirants, and you are not going behind the shortcut methods. Okay, you prefer you are. I believe that you are all doing smart work, and you know the value of certain materials. Okay, so I consider you are serious aspirants who know what the UPSC exam is all about, and you also know why you should read newspaper. So my task is actually is reduced. So my effort to convince you that is also now a lot less because you already know the importance of reading newspapers. Good. Let me explain my own views on that. I consider reading newspapers are as essential because it helps in 6 particular areas. Okay, 6 areas. One is knowledge building. Definitely, that I hope everyone knows that to build knowledge, newspapers help in building knowledge because it has a lot of information. So while going through the newspapers, that will definitely help you in improving your knowledge. There is no question about that. Everybody knows that. The second thing is something which is very, very important. The second thing is the logical analysis and reasoning part. Okay. Newspapers gives excellent analysis on many topics. Quality newspapers, okay, not every newspapers. Quality newspapers which contains good analysis. They might be having good analysis themselves, and that will help you develop your own analytical skills because the author of a particular column or a columnist in a newspaper like Hindu, he might be writing an essay with different arguments, and he will do the analysis. And you can, while going through that particular essay, one particular article, you will also start thinking like that, thinking like the experts, and that will definitely help you in your analysis skill, building your analysis skills. That's the main point. Also, the shortcut methods, the monthly magazines or videos or whatever is available, the analysis part actually is in a capsule format, or it's actually something like a minute format. The real from your involvement in that is actually very less when with respect to reading newspapers. Okay, you will be like a passive audience if everything is provided directly to you. But if you read newspapers, that analytical skills from your brain, or that analytical part of your brain will be much more involved. And the third, and connecting with that, with most of the answers in UPSC General Studies mains paper, GS 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that requires excellent analytical skills, and even for essay also that analytical skills are needed. And in interview also certain questions will be put to you, testing your analytical skills. So everything is spoon fed to you. That analytical skills might not be developed in you, so you won't be able to answer to one that particular question in the exam hall or in front of the interview board, unless you develop that particular skills. So to develop that analytical skills, you need to read newspapers. That will help you building that. That is the second point. I'm glad that some of you have expressed the same idea in the chat section itself. So we are all on the same page. Good to know that. The third thing is regarding the comprehension part. Okay, General Studies paper 2 or CSAT is a very important section. Important section in the sense that if you are not qualifying in the CSAT paper, you will not be able to sit for the mains exam, despite your high marks in General Studies paper 1. So CSAT, a minimum percentage marks is needed. And comprehension is one major area in this CSAT. You will be given paragraph which are tough to understand in a minimum time. So you should be having good comprehension skills, good grasping skills to find the essence of that particular paragraph within a short span of time, then to answer questions based on that particular comprehension. Okay, so comprehension skills are also highly necessary with respect to an aspiring civil servant. And to develop that comprehension skills, a newspaper reading will definitely help you. That is the third point. And the fourth point is highly crucial. Highly crucial is because newspaper reading is the best tool which will be helping you in essay writing. Why I'm saying is because I have seen in my experience in the last 9-10 years, I have seen aspirants who are mostly writing the essay questions just like they write a GS paper answer. Like a GS answer, they are writing essay also. Essay is something different. Essay, you're in UPSC, you will be asked to write on 2 essays about 12 pages. One essay will be of 12 pages, and the next essay will also be 12 pages. And GS paper is something like which you will be writing for 1 page or 1.5 page or something like that. And the writing style, the requirement of an answer, everything is different. Okay. But when I'm going through most of the essay papers written by aspirants, what I have observed is that there is no much difference in the writing with respect to GS answer or an essay answer, which is definitely the wrong strategy. And if you adopt that particular kind of writing in UPSC, your marks in essay paper will be definitely less. Essay has a different approach. Okay, to know how to write good essay, reading newspaper will be definitely a great aid in that. And those who read newspapers on a regular basis, usually their essays will stand out. They will be knowing what kind of language that should be used in essay, how an essay should be started, how should be the paragraphs be connected, what should be the connecting words, how should be the conclusion, how to make an essay stand out, everything that particular part. Essay writing is something highly important, and it carries a weightage of 250 marks in mains. So to score well in the essay, you definitely need to put effort reading newspapers. Just going through the monthly capsules or videos will not help in that. So in that perspective, essay writing is very important. Newspaper reading is very important with respect to essay writing. And fifth point, almost everyone knows that newspapers like Hindu helps in vocabulary building. And vocabulary, why do you need such a vocabulary? You can express certain things in simple language, I agree with that. But certain other things need an exact and effective expression. This is also a term which UPSC mentions in the UPSC syllabus for essay, okay? And even for GS also. The UPSC is looking for exact and effective expressions. For example, let me help you with an example. Okay, you need to express some idea, like maybe a question is put forward regarding the development. Okay, development. You want to express an idea that whatever development you are doing, the road construction, buildings, or whatever infrastructure is you are creating, that should consider all the future and without causing any destruction to the environment. And you want to say many things. Okay, so to express all these things, you will be using lot many words, and then you will be putting across that. But if you just use a word like sustainable development, that is the apt word for that particular thing. The sustainable development is a word which includes everything, like in the present generation as well as the future generation, the environment, culture, everything will be there in that particular word. So that is one particular apt word for one particular concept. So similarly, for every concept, there will be apt words for that. To pick that particular apt word, reading newspapers will help, because that will give you that particular vocabulary which is fit for that particular case. Okay, I'm just using an example of sustainable development. I am sure that almost all in this particular group will be knowing what sustainable development is also all about. But similarly, you can find many words which will be the right fit. If you are using the right fit, whether in the mains or in interview, that will fetch you more marks. For example, in polity, there is a word like procedure established by law and due process of law. So, in spite of using any of these words, if you're using any other terms to express the same idea, you won't be conveying the same meaning. Okay, so there are certain words, and that particular word itself should be used in that particular place. So to know that vocabulary building, for that particular vocabulary building, and that vocabulary is necessary in essay, GS, as well as in the interview. Okay, all the three stages that is necessary, and newspapers are necessary for that. And finally, the pictorial memory. Okay, when you go through the newspapers page by page, you will see lot many pictures, lot many photos will be there, and cartoons will be there. That images will create a pictorial memory. Memory is all of different types. It can be pictorial memory, it can be audio memory, it can be even the different kinds of memory is there. Okay, but this pictorial memory, that will help you in the exam hall. If you think about something in the exam hall, and if you're not able to get answers, but sometimes by luck or something, if that pictorial memory is in your mind, you will remember about that particular picture in the exam hall, and then you will be able to write an answer on that. Maybe a cartoon you might have seen in the Hindu, that might give you a clue. Okay, even that single thing also will be important. Okay, so the crux of this particular slide is that be it ClearIAS or myself, we give more importance to developing your skills. Okay, developing your skills, and we don't believe in spoon feeding everything. So this is one thing which I want to convey to aspirants. Like, there's a concept in English, right? Like, we can give a person a fish, or we can teach a person fishing. Okay, we believe in teaching a person fishing so that he can fetch food for himself. So to build your analytical skills, you need to do certain things. You need to put certain effort. That will be a pain in the beginning, but in the end, that will be much more rewarding. Understand? Hope you understand. Any comments in the chat section? Please check voice not receiving. Anybody having difficulty in getting the voice? Anybody else? Are you able to hear my voice well, or should I be much more louder? Yes, it's audible. We can hear. Okay, it's fine. Thanks. Thank you all. Thank you all. And regarding the recording of the session, this session is recorded, as you all know. The ClearIAS classes platform. If anybody is new to your platform, I shall explain how the platform works. We will be providing free as well as paid classes in this platform. Okay, not every class is free. We offer both free class as well as paid classes. But as of now, what is happening is the free trial of the classes, so that you will be getting a look and feel of what we are providing. And once a live class is over, that will be provided as a recorded version. Okay, that recorded session will be there for all the participants. That will be provided in your dashboard. Okay, if a class is free, usually the recorded class will also be free. But if a class is paid, both the live as well as the recorded class will be provided only for the paid participants. But not the case is that most of the live classes, when we are mentioning it is free, you should be attending the live class itself. But the recording sessions, we are not guaranteeing that everything will be free. We may sometimes change the free class into paid classes also. So this is all part of the package. Also, whenever a live class is provided free, if you're a free user, you should be attending the live class for free. So the benefit of that is that You can even use the interactive chat option or voice option to interact with the mentors and the faculties. But the benefit of the recorded session is that once you have gone through the live classes, the recorded session, we are providing the facility to increase the speed also. You can watch the recorded session at 1.25 speed or 1.5 or 2x. So you can finish the same session as a revision at a greater speed. So that is also provided. So for the premium users of ClearIAS, that the participants who are paid users of the ClearIAS online classroom program, we provide both live classes as well as recorded classes. Hope it's clear. Okay. Now let me take you to the next slide. And this session is titled How to Read Hindu in Less Than 60 Minutes. Okay. So why are we focusing on the Hindu? I think Hindu is one of the good newspapers available. Not only Hindu, newspapers like Indian Express are also really good. But the thing is that Hindu from traditional years is considered as the favorite choice of many aspirants with respect to UPSC preparation. And this is one particular paper which distinguishes the news and views really well. That is another reason why we prefer the Hindu. And also the Hindu has a paper version as well as a digital version, an e-paper. And that e-paper is also very really convenient with respect to the smart work. We are mentioning about the return on investment as well as smart work also. In that perspective also, the Hindu is really convenient. But I'm not stressing that you should definitely read Hindu only. That's not the policy of ClearIAS. You can read any good newspapers, any standard newspapers which distinguishes the news and views really well and has good analysis like the Hindu. You can definitely use that. Indian Express is definitely an option. If you find any difficulty to understand the vocabulary used in Hindu or something, you can try the Indian Express also. No issues. But in this session, is mainly about the Hindu. So I will be going through page by page of Hindu and explain how to understand the Hindu better and read it faster. That is the core point of this session, because anybody can read Hindu. I know. But the problem is that many of you will be taking like 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours to read Hindu. But the focus is that with respect to UPSC aspirant doesn't need to go through all the pages or all the areas in the Hindu. So what an UPSC aspirant should focus in the Hindu, that is the essence. So once that particular thing is clear to you, you can read Hindu much faster. Since you will be focusing on the core areas from which questions will be asked. Okay, that's it. And this is something which going through any newspaper, be it Hindu or the Indian Express, you should clearly know what are mentioned as news and what are mentioned as views. Only few newspapers brings this differentiation. In many newspapers, mostly regional newspapers, what they do is that they present the views of the editorial team as news. Okay, so we'll get confused. What are news and what are views? So news should be separate, views should be separate. After reading the news, we should be able to develop views on that. We should be able to develop our own opinion about that. But just taking the opinion of somebody else as our opinion or that opinion as news is not a good thing. Okay, that will be something like brainwashing. So you should not be brainwashed. For that, you should be knowing what are news and what are views. And Hindu is one paper which distinguishes that. Even the title itself, they will mention what are views, what are the pages which mentions the views of the editorial board and what are the pages which mentions the news items. We will see that. So moving to the next slide. This is the area which I want to stress now. We will see. Everybody knows that the Hindu newspaper or any newspaper, it's more related with current affairs. Everybody knows that the newspaper is something which is more connected with the current affairs. Okay, so I want to ask you all this particular question: are we giving over importance to current affairs? in the UPSC prelims or mains or interview, or with respect to the life of an aspirant, whatever he is studying, do you think that are we giving more importance to current affairs than its right or due weightage? What is your opinion? As an aspirant yourself, think, and mention in the chat how many hours nowadays you are devoting to current affairs. Can any of you ping in the chat section? Like daily, if daily, how many hours you devote to current affairs? Your opinions matters, so please type in the chat. Daily on a basis, be it newspaper reading or be it on any other material on current affairs, how many hours you daily invest on current affairs? I will not mention any names, just the numbers I will read out. 2 hours, 1 hour, okay, 1.5 to 2 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, okay, 2 hours mostly, 1.5 hours, 2.5 hours, okay, 1 hour, okay, good, 2 hours, okay, good, uh, okay. The case is that in my experience, I have seen many candidates, they invest most of the time, majority of their time on current affairs. For example, suppose all an aspirant has with him for UPSC preparation is 100 hours, okay? Most aspirants, out of that 100 hours, almost 60% of that, almost 60 hours, they tend to invest on current affairs. It can be newspaper reading or monthly magazines or whatever it is. They tend to invest a lot of their time with respect to current affairs. They think that current affairs is the most important topic with respect to UPSC preparation, and they invest a lot of time on current affairs. And remaining the 40% is available for all other subjects. And out of the 40%, maybe 20% or something they will invest on polity. And only 20% is available for all other subjects like history, geography, economics, science and technology, like that. This is something, a pattern which I've been observing for the last many years with respect to lot many aspirants. And that is the trend across India. That is trend across India, and that is the trend across all platforms, online or offline coaching. This is the pattern of information they are providing. If you look at any online coaching websites, you will be mostly seeing articles connected with current affairs. You rarely see an article on static topic like history, geography, polity, economics, or environment, or science and technology, or ethics, or something like that. You will be getting daily news, daily newspaper gist, daily PAB gist, daily Hindu gist, things like that. You will be getting, right? Like whatever, all materials are like cut, copy, pasting of whatever things are available in the internet for free. They mention in the websites and they give it for free. And aspirants are behind this, and almost all the free YouTube channels are also operate in the same method, by giving over stress to current affairs, knowing that a bunch of aspirants, not you actually, your kind of efforts you guys are putting is in the right weightage, okay? But mostly the beginners, precisely, and those aspirants who are misguided, they think that current affairs is having a great weightage, and they devote almost all the time going behind even the trivial things, because current affairs is something like an ocean, okay? Whatever you study, there will be some other areas which are yet to be covered, and there will be always new things, okay? So they go behind the trivial things and they waste their time, and the return on investment. This is the one point which I mentioned in the beginning. If you go like that, and if you spend, if you're having 8 hours per day, and if you spend 6 hours on the current affairs, you at the end, when prelims are near or when mains are near, if you go by like that strategy, there is very less chance that you will be clearing prelims or even prelims. You will not be getting time to cover the other high priority areas. You will be concentrating only one single area, and that is despite the hard work. Since you are not doing it in the right way, you will not be able to succeed in this exam. Okay, that is the main area. This is something which I want you all should know, because this is the trend. Okay, let me explain you another thing also. Let me take a pen. What was the cutoff last year with respect to UPSC prelims? Can somebody mention in the comment section? So that since this is an afternoon session, I want all of you to be awake. So I will be pulling you at times so that you will remain active. And and I need participation from you. What is the cutoff score of UPSC prelims last year? With respect to prelims, I think I have mentioned that in the first session. Any inputs? Hope you remember that. Anyway, you are preparing for exam, right? You should be knowing your target. Please mention. Waiting for any inputs. $98. Okay. 98. Yeah, correct. Yeah, this is the cutoff with respect to prelims. 98 last year, 98 out of 200. Okay, what was the score of rank 1 in UPSC after prelims, mains, and interview? Percentage of marks? This is something like 49%, right? 49%. So, what is the percentage of marks scored by rank 1, All India rank 1 last year? Any inputs? 52%, correct. 52%, exactly. That's correct. So, why UPSC is such a low scoring exam? I agree with respect to mains and interview. UPSC, UPSC is not that liberal awarding the marks. Their evaluation standards are really high. They, despite you write a very brilliant answer, they will be giving only 70% or maximum 60% for an answer. 60% you will be usually you are getting for an exceptional answer. And at times you may be getting 70%. That's it. So an interview also maximum score you will be getting something like 75%. Usually it will be something like 60 to 75 or even below that also. So they are not even for the mains and interview. We know that these two stages are subjective stages and not an objective exam. The cutoff is less. The highest percentage, it will be anyway less than 60% only, because the evaluation standards are also kept like that. But why the cutoff in prelims are also such less despite an objective exam where every correct answer will be fetching 2 marks. So if you can correctly answer 100 questions, you'll be getting 200 marks, right? But have you ever come across any UPSC aspirant, despite be it a beginner or a veteran who might have invested 6 or 7 years, have anybody scored 200 marks in prelims? Have you ever thought about that? Why aspirants are not able to score high marks in even UPSC prelims, even veterans? You might be hearing scores like 120, 130, or 140. Like, these are very rare. Okay, scores about 130 are very rare. But usually, most aspirants score in the 90 to 100 range. Okay, this is the usually the most of the aspirants will be scoring in this particular range. Why cutoffs are so low despite aspirants put a lot of effort to study? Why the prelims cutoff are so less? Why aspirants are scoring so less marks? Any clue? In that, I need your opinion. Why this is the case? Why aspirants are scoring very less despite multiple years of their effort? Why aspirants are scoring so less marks in UPSC prelims? Mains, I know that because UPSC evaluation standards are very high. So they won't, despite a good answer, they won't give you more than 70% marks. But why this happens in prelims? Why aspirants are not getting good marks? Leaving some portion of syllabus like medieval history. Yeah, Saru is mentioning one aspect why aspirants are not scoring well. Okay, any other inputs? CSE is very tough. Okay, very tough. Yeah, that is the general answer. Ancient history and medieval history, many aspirants leave out. That can bring their marks down. That is the opinion of Saru. And Kaushik says tricky questions. And Nirvama says answers are application of concepts and aspirants are not aware of the concepts. Good point, Nirvama. analytical questions are asked in prelims, and Rasmila says that such kind of questions aspirants are not used to and requires deep analysis of knowledge. Okay, Abhijit has a point. Okay, any other inputs? You also think like why aspirants are not scoring well in prelims? Across India, I'm saying across India, not particular with respect to one particular region or with respect to one particular coaching institute, but across India, the trend is the same. Like the prelims marks are actually very less, despite their preparation, despite their hard work. Okay, okay, not prepared all parts like agriculture last year. Okay, points, good points. Okay, I shall mention my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion. My opinion. Why aspirants are not scoring well despite their effort? This is because across India, there is a big gap. There is a big gap between what is required in the UPSC exam and what is prepared or prepared by UPSC aspirants or what is taught to UPSC aspirants. Okay, there is a big gap. Okay, the requirement of UPSC is something like this. Okay, and what aspirants studying are something different. So there is a gap there. This is the gap. So only if this gap is bridged, you will be knowing what is really required for the UPSC exam. So what you usually aspirants study? They study the as I have already mentioned that they are behind the current affairs. They are there's a plethora of materials available in the internet about current affairs, and they think that. And many coaching institutes also give over focus to current affairs because students love whatever materials given in the form of current affairs, and they utilize that mentality, or they are not even analyzing the trends or kind of questions asked in UPSC, and they give materials like that. They follow the traditional kind of approach. Okay, maybe that kind of approach might have worked in previous years to an extent. Even in the previous years, also the cutoff is something like this. Okay, so I'm not saying that that worked well in the past, but the one thing which is significant here is that the kind of questions or the kind of topics, kind of books referred by aspirants is not matching the exact requirement of UPSC. This is the main point which I want to mention. Okay, it has an overlap to an extent. Okay, to an extent only. But UPSC is, that is why every year after UPSC prelims, aspirants come out of the exam hall with deep disappointment. They say that UPSC asked questions outside the scope of the coaching or outside what they have learned. Whatever materials they have learned, no questions came from that. Questions were from different areas, different topics. They are totally unheard of. And they attempt their questions and they make mistakes, they get negative marks, and they don't even clear the cutoff score. So cutoffs automatically comes down because across India, aspirants are not able to score well. So the cutoff will come down. But for example, I will give another situation. So everybody is reading current affairs only, and UPSC is asking questions directly from current affairs. Okay, maybe like 70%, 80% questions in prelims paper is current affairs. I'm sure that the cutoff score in UPSC prelims will be something like 170, 180, because everybody is knowing what is asked in UPSC, and they have prepared well for that. But now what happens is that aspirants are preparing in one direction, and UPSC questions are coming in another direction or from different areas. And that includes all the textbooks they study also, because most aspirants prepare NCERTs. NCERTs is one area, and they prepare from a few standard textbooks. I'm not saying aspirants refer a lot of standard textbooks. Most of the aspirants, they depend only 3 or 4 standard textbooks only. Okay. So what happens? What happens is that when they prepare NCERT textbook, UPSC definitely asks questions from NCERTs and standard textbooks. I agree on that. But my point is that UPSC does not limit their questions with a few textbooks or a few NCERT textbooks. Okay, they prepare questions beyond that. Maybe 25% questions come from NCERT textbooks, and 25% questions come from standard textbooks. But the remaining questions are beyond these sources. They look for multiple sources, online and offline. But aspirants, the reference point or the study material of aspirants are limited to just NCERTs and a few standard textbooks. So they are scoring only in 70 marks or 80 marks, and they are out of the race that year. That happens. And the method of preparation is remains the same for most aspirants. Whenever they are repeating also, they are adopting the same strategies. The same method are adopted by many coaching institutes also. So if you're doing the same thing again and again, and if you're expecting different results, you will not be definitely getting that. So first understand that there is a big gap which is between the requirement of UPSC and what is studied by aspirants. So that only if that particular gap is bridged, you will be able to score well above the cutoff score. To score like 130s, 140s, 150s, 160s, you need to know the exact requirements of UPSC. You need a mentor or a coaching institute or whatever guidance, whatever it is, who will help you understand the exact requirements of UPSC by analyzing the patterns of questions, and you should be able to get that particular guidance only. And if you only focusing that areas from which you will be getting that kind of questions, you will be able to score well above the cutoff score. And this is one area ClearIAS classes will be focusing right from the beginning. And for all aspirants who will be joining the ClearIAS Ultimate batch, we'll be couriering you a set of 27 books, not just 4 or 5 books. We'll be sending a book of 27 books that will be couriered free of cost. That will be included in the fees, and that will be couriered to you. And that is part of the understanding by ClearIAS that just reading a few books will not help you clear prelims, mains, or interview. Okay, you need to put a lot of effort, but that doesn't mean you need to study all the 27 books from page 1 to page 600 or 800 by heart. That is not the case. We'll explain how you should go with each book and which topic you should be focusing from that, and how should read the NCERT books and standard textbooks. That will follow in the coming sessions with that. But what we are stressing is that just depending on the traditional sources will not help. Okay, or just following the mass trends will not help. You should be knowing what to focus and where to focus and how to focus. That is the key point. And with that perspective in mind, let me explain this particular chart. This is a sample chart based on my experience with UPSC prelims. So which are the areas on an average? Okay, I'm just not, this is just an average chart based on the average trends in UPSC prelims, from which all areas questions are coming. Okay. The questions there are 7 crucial areas in UPSC prelims, that is Indian history, geography, polity, economy, science and technology, environment, and current affairs. So these are how the UPSC divided GS paper 1 into 7 sections. Out of that, current affairs is just one section, and the weightage of current affairs can be something like 10% or 15% every year. This is the case. Maybe a few variations can come from year to year, but it is largely like 10% or 15%. So for a 10% weightage or 15% weightage, how much weightage of your time you are investing for current affairs? This is the question which I am putting forward to you. And that is why you should be learning the skill to read Hindu newspaper in 60 minutes or less, because there is no need to put more effort on that. Hindu read paper should be read, but you should not invest more than 60 minutes on a newspaper. That is the point. Okay, I hope you got my point. I hope we are all on the same page as well. And what I am mentioning is that you should be prioritizing whatever you are learning, and a proportional importance should be given. This is what I mean by proportional importance. You should be studying every subject in a proportional way. Like, what is the importance? Okay, maybe I shall give another example to explain the concept of the proportional importance. For example, world history is a topic. World history is a topic, and that's a very vast topic also. But analyzing the trends from 2013 to 2019 or 20, the case is that the questions from world history are largely 1 or 2. For 1 or 2 means the total number of total marks will be something like 10 to 15. That is the weightage of world history over the years. And there are years when no questions were asked from world history. But to study world history, you need to put a lot of effort, and that effort is not proportional to the marks. Okay, but there are certain areas like in economy or Indian polity or environment where with a limited effort you will be getting a good marks. Okay, so that effort and results are proportional. That is the concept of return on investment. So what I am mentioning is that whichever area you are preparing, that you should also focus on the prioritization and proportional importance. You should be bothered about the return on investment as well as the smart work. This is the concept. Now I am directly taking you to the Hindu newspaper, and the Hindu newspaper usually will be having something like 14 pages or 16 pages. Okay, usually that is the case of a Hindu newspaper. Out of in some days it will be some 16 pages, and in some days it will be something like 14 pages. So out of these 14 pages, the first 5 pages, page 1 to page 5, is of low priority. I am dividing the Hindu newspaper pages into three, that is high priority pages, medium priority pages, and low priority pages. So the first 5 pages, we'll see each page one by one, but the first 5 pages are of low priority. And the pages 6 to 12, okay, this includes the editorial page, the op-ed page, the news pages, the pages on world, etc. These comes under the tabs like high priority and medium priority. I will explain which pages are high priority and which pages are medium priority. And again, then the last 2 pages, these 2 pages, 13 and 14, these are all of low priority. Okay. So out of the 14 or 16 page Hindu, the pages we usually have to focus on are only pages from 6 to 12. So we are out of the 50 or more than 60% of the Hindu newspaper are not relevant for a UPSC aspirant. We are focusing only the 40%. Okay, so that itself will help you save time. So you are not focusing on the unwanted area with respect to UPSC preparation, but you are focusing on the high priority areas or medium priority areas. The pages I am repeating that you need to focus are pages from 6 to 12. So now I am taking you directly to a newspaper front page of the newspaper, and from page 1 to page 14 we shall focus, and I shall explain what are the areas that we should be focusing on. So now you have a copy of a Hindu newspaper, the front page. When you get a newspaper, you should be if this is the area, then you should be definitely going through this particular thing, this particular area. Okay, the headlines in brief. Okay, and also the main headlines can also be taken a close look. That's it. Don't go into the minute details, but just look at the headlines. And the case is that these are news, and these news are not explained on the first page, and this will come in page 8, page 10, and page 11. So just know that these are some areas which comes on as the major news in that particular day. Just an overview or quick look on the first page will be enough for you. After a quick reading of the first page, you should go to the second page. But the second page is something of a low priority. Okay, low priority. Somebody unmuted. Any questions? Okay, this is a low priority because this is a regional page, and UPSC is a central agency. Okay, because since UPSC is a central agency, and questions will not be coming from any local news or state news are also not important. Only the central level, national level news are relevant for UPSC civil services examination. And so the paper pages 2, pages 3, and pages 4, all these are not relevant because it can vary from state to state. I am just taking the case of Kerala, but it can be Delhi or be Tamil Nadu. The pages can be different, but these pages are not relevant for prelims or mains. Maybe for interview, at the time of your interview, you can have a look at that. Some of the issues maybe you can look at, because if since to know that you have local awareness, or to prove that you have local awareness, maybe you need to put some effort on that. But for prelims and mains, these are not at all important. Okay, and even the fifth page also, if that deals with the south or north or whatever it is, since it is not dealing with the nation, that thing also does not have much weightage, and this is also a low priority. So you should also don't look into this page. This page you can completely leave out, Page 5, page 4 you can completely leave out. Page 3 you can completely leave out. Page 2 you can completely leave out. And page 1, only the main areas you need to just go through that. Main headlines you need to just go through that. That's it. I hope you are clear until page 5. And in some days, UPSC may come, Hindu may come with a page called Nation or National News. Okay. If such thing is there, you should definitely read that. Nation is something which you should be reading. Okay. But not South or North or any states or anything like that. Now, this is the most important page with respect to UPSC. This is the editorial page. Usually it will be something like a page 6. Okay. With respect to page 6, this is the editorial part, and there will be 2 editorials. This is the editorial 1, and this will be the editorial 2. These 2 editorials are important, and there will be some opinion articles. These are opinion articles. These 2 are opinion articles, and there will be the letters to editor part. All these are important. These 5 aspects are important, but at not every day, and not every article or not every editorial. There can be editorials which will be linked with political issues or something like party politics will be there, and those are not relevant for UPSC. Only if it is connected with the topics mentioned in the UPSC syllabus in General Studies paper 2 or General Studies paper 3, that needs to be given extra stress. But if it's dealing with petty issues, trivial issues, or issues happening in some remote areas in the world, there can be some internal issues with respect to Nigeria or something, which is not that relevant for UPSC, or South Sudan or anything. If that is not connected with India or the kind of syllabus we are having, that is not relevant for UPSC. So you can leave out that also. So if the editorial is relevant for you, you should go through that, or the opinion article. But otherwise, there is no need to go for that. And suppose you are even with the editorial and the opinion page, you are having time constraints. What you should focus is that you should focus on the intro part as well as the conclusion part, because what happens is inside is a deep analysis of the things, but in the conclusion part, this is the important thing. Okay, if you look at the conclusion, you will get the gist of the Hindu, that particular article. Okay, that you should be focusing on everything. Okay, for every article you should be definitely reading the conclusion, and if possible read the intro also. That is the case with even the editorials also. If possible, read the full article, but if you have time constraints, at least go through the intro and conclusion. That is what I strongly suggest. This is what I strongly suggest. And the other point which I want to express to you is that to read faster, usually if you go through all these articles, it will take a lot of time. Okay, but to read faster, I suggest a method. That method is that rather than reading from left to right, usually as we read from left to right, from the, word by word we will be reading from left to right, but rather than reading from left to right, you read from top to bottom. How to read from top to bottom? For that you need to practice the art of reading with combining multiple words. Usually we will take one word by word we'll be reading. So you take 4 or 5 words together, then in the next line also take 4 or 5 words together, and the third line also take 4 or 5 words together, and then read from top to bottom. This is top to bottom reading, and this is quite fast. If you read by picking each word, it will take a lot of time. But if you pick 4 or 5 words together and combine it and then read it, you can read faster. So the reading speed also varies from aspirant to aspirant. Okay, so those aspirants having a good reading speed, that will help not only with respect to newspapers, but also to help to finish NCERT text as well as. Who is talking in between? Who is unmuted? Okay, what I was mentioning is that if you are reading, you should develop the skill of reading top to bottom. That will help you improve your reading speed. And that reading speed is definitely helpful, not only with respect to reading newspapers, but across all study materials. Only if you have that good reading speed, you will be able to finish all the materials on time. Okay, you will be thinking that you will be having 1 year, 1.5 years before next prelims or next mains. But the time if you are taking, Even if you are studying for 10 hours per day, okay, out of the 24 hours you have, even if you are studying for 10 hours for one day, in a month, you will be having only 300 hours, right? Like 300 hours. So in 10 months or something, you'll be having only how many hours? 3,000 hours. Like, but usually you will not be studying for 10 hours on something on a day. On a quality basis, you'll be getting only maybe or 5 hours or something. So you'll be having only about 1,500 hours on a total basis for UPSC preparation. It will be something like 1,500 hours. Okay. Out of that, you need to devote for every particular subject. So you are not at the luxury of too many hours for UPSC preparation. Quality wise, you'll be getting many distractions or in between. Maybe family functions will be there. Some other illness may come. Accidents can happen or something like that. Any unfortunate incidents can happen to you. And also there will be other distractions like mobile phone calls, Facebook, in the internet, or whatever. There will be hundreds of distractions also. So the quality time you will be getting will be bare minimum. It will be something like 1,500 hours for if you take on a yearly basis. So how many hours you can extract and put into effective use? That is what matters. And for that, the effective reading techniques is highly important. Then that is what I have demonstrated here. Now let us go to the next slide. So this is the op-ed page. The page opposite to editorial is called op-ed or perspective page. Okay. Here also, usually the two articles which comes here are usually important, but there can be unimportant articles also. This is entirely up to your understanding, like which article you should read and which article you should leave out. If you know the UPSC syllabus, you know if that particular article is relevant or not. Okay. Now that we have two articles, again in this also, if you find that article taking too much time, what you should do, you should focus on the intro and focus on the conclusion. So you'll be getting the main gist of the idea. Okay, the main idea you'll be getting. So then if you have time, go through the article. But anyway, you should keep a target that you will finish the Hindu within 60 minutes. Only if you have time more than that, go through the entire article. Otherwise, you can leave out. The intro and conclusion you should definitely read. And the data sheets like this, if you come across any data sheet like this with statistics, preferably note down in a notebook. Okay, if you are noting down in a notebook the current affairs from newspapers, you should be keeping a notebook for current affairs. And when you come across good points in newspaper, note it down. Okay, I shall explain why you should do that. Because if you are doing something, you should only if you're getting some benefit out of that, then only it will be useful for you. If you are just reading newspapers and not taking anything out of that, you will soon forget whatever you have read in a newspaper. Okay, you are not learning; you are actually skimming through the newspaper. There are three concepts: like you can skim, you can read, you can learn. But newspaper should be something that should be skimmed through. Okay. You might be paying for Hindu newspaper. I think Hindu newspaper is something like 10 rupees for one day. Like if you're going for a paper route, like it will be something like 300 rupees for a day for a month, and it will be something like 2,000 3,000 rupees for an year. Okay. But since if you're paid, you don't think that you should read everything from page 1 to page 16 or something like that. That is not applicable for newspapers. That is not necessary for textbooks either. Okay, just because you paid for something, you should not necessarily go through every page. But you focus on the important areas, and to get the benefit out of that, you keep a notebook aside and write down what do you think as a value addition. Don't write everything you see in the newspaper. No need to cut using scissors and keep it aside in a file or something like that. That is also not necessary. But whatever value points you are getting from a newspaper, you should keep aside. I shall explain why. Okay. With respect to mains examination, almost all aspirants will be having almost the same capacity. Their understanding level will be there. They will be usually referring the same sources. They will be referring because it is the age of internet. Like they will be using their time to refer the most popular resources, and they will be studying accordingly. So the kind of marks usually aspirants will be getting will be also similar with respect to mains. So how to make your answer paper stand out? To make your answer paper stand out, you need to do some value additions in that particular answer. You need to add some value to that answer so that your answer will stand out from the rest of the competition. That is what is needed, because UPSC is a competitive exam, right? So in a competitive exam, what matters is that your answer should stand out from the rest of the aspirants. To how to make your answer stand out? So to make your answer stand out, you need to do something extra. Extra with respect to how can you make an answer stand out? You can quote Supreme Court judgments for one particular question. You can quote Supreme Court judgments. You can quote recent bills, sections of the bills passed by Parliament. Okay, that is another technique to score well. You can quote ARC reports. You can quote Panji Commission report. You can quote Sarkari Commission reports. These are some techniques you can use to score well. Similarly, you can, if you find a good statistics or data or some value addition point in a newspaper, note down that in your current affairs notebook and use that in your exam hall. Then only you can score well in the mains exam. This is highly relevant. Okay. So if you come across a data, something like on a women's security or a freedom of press or a happiness index or anything like that, if you feel that is a statistics that can bring an additional value to your answer, that can help you make your answer should stand out, use that in your mains paper. Okay. Now moving to the next slide. To repeat, I shall help you with getting a discount on Hindu e-paper. That part will be dealt at the end of the session. As of now, we are going through page by page of Hindu, and at the end, we'll discuss on that. And at the end, we'll take up all the questions from you also. We'll take up all the questions, all your doubts, and will be clarified, not only with respect to the Hindu or current affairs preparation, but any questions which is generally related with UPSC, we shall take at the end, because this is a mentorship session also. We'll take up the end and we'll clarify that. I will clarify that. Now, page after the editorial page and the op-ed page, we come into a page called news. Okay, this is something different. Okay, the editorial page and the op-ed page are something like views. Okay, they are views of the newspaper. That is the view of the Hindu newspaper. That is just the viewpoint of the Hindu newspaper. So you don't necessarily have to concur with it. Okay, you can, if you agree with that viewpoint, you can take that viewpoint. But if you don't agree with that viewpoint, you can come up with your own view. That is just an analysis by the Hindu team or whoever writes for Hindu comes to write on that particular day. So that does not mean that you have to agree with that particular viewpoint. The aim of the preparation, the whole preparation, is that you should be able to develop your own opinion on every particular current issue. UPSC asks, what is your opinion on that? If UPSC asks to express your opinion on that, you should be able to express your opinion. If UPSC asks to critically analyze a particular subject, you should be able to critically analyze that. That to develop that analytical skills, you will be focusing on the editorial page and the op-ed page, which I consider as the most important high priority areas with respect to Hindu newspaper. And the news section are also important, but with respect to news section, you should be mainly focusing on the areas mentioned in the UPSC syllabus. Okay, if in the UPSC syllabus, you might be if you go through the UPSC syllabus, you'll be knowing the areas like pressure groups, NGOs, judiciary, legislature, parliament. All these are the terms which are mentioned repeatedly in the syllabus. So these are some certain areas that you should be giving focus to. So this is something connected with judiciary, Supreme Court, highly important. Okay, whenever you come across any area like judiciary, definitely go through that. Parliamentary debates, any new policies like national education policy or anything like that. That is highly important. So definitely you should be going through that. So what I suggest is that you take a printout of UPSC syllabus that is available in the ClearIAS website as well as ClearIAS app, or if you can take that from the UPSC notification as well. Take a printout of that and paste it on your walls where you can see on a daily basis. Just like you paste maps of geography, take a printout of UPSC syllabus and paste it on your wall. And when you go through that on a daily basis, you will be knowing what is the syllabus of Prelims and what is the syllabus of each paper in mains. Okay, the main syllabus is much more detailed. So GS paper 1, what is the syllabus? GS paper 2, paper 3. And the current affairs section is mostly confined to GS paper 2 and GS paper 3. So that you will be knowing whenever you come across any news, you can instantly connect it with the UPSC syllabus. And if that is mentioned, if somehow related with the UPSC syllabus, you should definitely go through that. That is the main clue with respect to reading newspapers. Then moving to the next slide. This is also news. Okay, page 9 is also news. Again, the same thing applies if it is connected with parliament, judiciary. That is, if it is connected with the three organs of the state, executive, judiciary, or something like that, you should be reading. But don't go behind trivial news, any other thing like the political issues or something like any state politics or national politics. Don't go behind that, wasting your time. That will not be asked in UPSC. Then the other thing also news. But if there is a page like nation, you should be reading that. But with respect to news, only focus on the national, nationally relevant news that can be asked in a UPSC, either in prelims, mains, or interview. If you see that there is no chance for such a news item to be asked in anything else, there is no need. Actually, the case is that with respect to many newspapers, the headlines will be misleading. Okay, when you see the headlines, you think that this is somewhere important, but if you read the entire article, what you are getting will be very minimal. So what I suggest is that go through the intro and conclusion, and if you feel that if there is any significance, read that article. If you feel that there is not at all important, just don't read that. Then the next slide. This is an important area which is titled World. Okay, World. It's connected with international relations page. This page is important. It's having a medium importance with respect to UPSC. You should go through the world page. But the case with the world page is that this will be an evolving page. Okay, this is an evolving page in the sense that sometimes there will be good analysis in the world page, but at times what happens is that, for example, if Indian Prime Minister is visiting US, okay, on a daily basis you will be getting some updates like he will be doing that. It will be something like news only. Okay. Over the time, maybe within 1 week or 2 weeks, you'll be getting one point that can be noted in a notepad. Otherwise, there will be nothing that will be you'll be getting to be noted in a notepad. So whatever things you will be getting to be noted in a notepad, that is the essence you are getting after reading a newspaper. Okay, every day you will be getting only maybe 1 or 2 lines to be written in a notebook. That is enough. But if you are not even getting anything from the newspaper, actually what you are doing is actually you are simply wasting your time. You are not getting anything to be written in the notebook, means these news which you are focusing are not the right news that should be focused. I hope you are clear with that. And the next page is actually the business page. And in the business page, you don't need to focus on the gold price or Sensex or these kind of things. You can leave out entirely. And even the business related news, like with respect to any particular business, be it Wipro, TCS results or Infosys or anything like that, their quarterly Q4 results are not relevant. But anything related to the GDP of India or any news which is connected with the Reserve Bank monetary policy, or those kind of news, you should be able to read and understand. News about the IIP, those kind of things which are relevant to the national economy, that is relevant with respect to the marketing sector, services sector, or the agriculture sector. If any such news are coming, you should be definitely focusing there. But company related news are not relevant. I hope that is the area. This is also a medium priority area, and certain areas will be high priority in the business section, but certain areas you can omit. So a selective reading of the Hindu is what needed. That is the crux of this session. So how to do that selective reading? That is what we are now dealing about. And the sports page, this is a page which is of low importance. You can entirely leave the sports page out. And the last page also, usually it will be something titled like sports or life, that also you can leave out. The case is that in the previous years, in the last 10 years, if you analyze the paper, maybe 1 or 2 questions, only one question I remember that came from the sports section. That is something connected with the silicone tape of used in a cricket bat. That is something which can fool the the technology. That is something, a question asked in one year in mains it came. But just for one question, if you are investing a lot of your time, that is not a good return on investment. Okay, I mentioned the point return on investment, right? We are all aware about the return on investment. So if you're just devoting a lot of time and just getting only one question in the last 10 years, that is not a high priority area. So don't go like that. Be it prelims or mains. Prelims, you just need only 50% marks to clear the cutoff. Okay, in mains it's around 50% only, or less than that. Even to score all in the rank 1, you just need 52% mark. So it's okay to leave out some topics so that you will get time to concentrate on the high priority areas. It's okay, you can leave out certain topics. Even if questions are coming, you can safely say that I don't need that marks because I am focusing on high priority areas. So you should be having uh, that guts to say that you are doing a smart work. You are doing focusing on an approach which is based on the return on investment. So this is all about the Hindu going page by page. And now I am just summarizing what we have covered so far. This is the tips for effective reading of the Hindu. So page 1, you just need to skim through the news headlines. Okay, don't waste too much time on the front page. Front page is something like a medium importance page. Okay, but pages 2 to page 5 are very low importance. So they are regional news and not that relevant for UPSC. You can skip those pages, page 2 to page 5 entirely. And if you come across a page like page about nation, go through that particular page and focus on Supreme Court judgments or High Court judgments, parliamentary debates or government orders or whatever is there in that particular page. You should focus. In the editorial page, if the editorial is relevant for UPSC, definitely you should read that. And same is the case with the lead article. If you feel that is a good analysis, go through that. But the another point which I need to focus is that why I was as at times I have seen that aspirants waste too much time on one particular topic. For example, if I mention a Citizenship Amendment Bill, CAB, okay. If CAB is there for maybe for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, there can be an analysis on CAB on Hindu. But ultimately, even if one question comes in UPSC, that will be just one question, and you will be already having enough inputs to write that particular answer. To get again some validation on that particular single topic, if you are investing too much time, you are not doing a PhD on Citizenship Amendment Bill, right? So your aim should be getting to answer one particular question on that particular topic right better. So don't invest too much time on a same topic again and again. If a repeated analysis is coming, just focus on the intro and conclusion. You will be getting 1 point from the conclusion. That is enough for you. Okay. The same applies for the perspectives as well. So this is the page which is important, like nation page, editorial page, and the perspective page or op-ed page. This is the high priority area with respect to Hindu. And the news pages are of medium priority. You should don't go for the political news or superficial issues, but if there is something connected, relevant for UPSC, go through that. Same applies for world page or international page. And the business page also focus on the fiscal policy and monetary policy. And if any news comes regarding budget, IIP, GDP, etc., go through that. Or any issues, socio-economic issues like related to women, health, education, etc., deep in depth. Otherwise, no need to read that. Sports page you can completely ignore. Summing up again, what are the areas that should be focused? Current issues, Supreme Court, High Court verdicts, national and important events of national and international importance, parliamentary debates, policies, etc. Okay. Now, and what should be left out? Local news should be left out. Political news should be left out. Any masala type kind of news should be left out. Film related news should be left out. Trivial facts should be left out. Trivial facts means any dates or numbers or recent appointments or those kind of things can be left out. Okay. And how to read faster. How to read faster. I have already discussed while dealing the editorial page. You should be reading 3-4 words together. That is a method which will help you to read faster. And you should read from top to bottom. And you should practice the art of skimming. Okay, just skim through the article, newspaper. Okay, you don't have to by heart or learn anything. You just go through that and take the value addition points from the newspaper, note it in the paper. That's it. That's the end of newspaper reading. Okay, that is the practice you should be developing. That is the habit you should. As a UPSC aspirant, if you're doing it for a leisure, of course you can read from page 1 to page 16 and do it like a leisure activity. But since you have time constraints, you should be mastering this art of newspaper reading for UPSC aspirants perspective. And read just like what I have discussed in this particular session. Read 3-4 words together and read from top to bottom and practice the art of skimming. And I'm just introducing it to you. If you're not familiar, there is a book by Norman Lewis, which will help you to read better and faster. Actually, no need to buy the main concept is something like this. Read 3-4 words together and read from top to bottom. And there are other techniques also discussed in that particular book. That this book is available in Amazon and Flipkart. If you need, you can buy that book. That will help you in comprehension. If you have difficulty with respect to reading speed or comprehension, you can go through that book. Otherwise, just follow what I have discussed in this class. That will be enough for you. And now to the Hindu e-paper. Okay. Many of you might be previously aware of the Hindu e-paper. This is the digital version of the same paper you will be getting as a paper copy. Same paper copy, it will be available as a digital version that is called e-paper, and that is available from the Hindu website itself. Once you log in with your email and create a password and create an account, you can go through the Hindu e-paper. This I feel as a smart work strategy, Hindu e-paper is much more useful than the traditional paper newspaper, because this e-paper offers certain additional benefits. Sorry, these are the additional benefits offered by the Hindu e-paper. Because you can save an article. I have already told that there is no need to cut any article, but if you feel that there is one excellent analysis in a Hindu newspaper that you want to save for future use, future reading, or that can be used as an essay model or something like that. If you want to save any particular article, the Hindu e-paper offers the feature to save as an image. You can save as an image and you can keep it in your laptop or mobile, whatever it is. In a folder, you can make a folder for current affairs in your laptop and save that particular article in your laptop. Okay. Anyway, Hindu e-paper can be read from both mobile as well as laptop. So that saving can be done, and you can also access the archives. Archives, you can access the old previous month's newspaper from the archive section. So there is no need to pile up old newspapers for reading again. Usually, even if we are keeping the paper newspapers as a pile up, we are not going to touch up that again. But in case of e-paper, if you want to go back, you can definitely do that. And there is an option to read that newspaper aloud also. You can read the newspaper aloud. So if you are tired of reading, you can have the luxury of somebody else reading the newspaper for you. That is also there. And the quick search feature is also there in the Hindu e-paper. Now I as promised, we will be giving a discount code for all participants in this session. With respect to Hindu, you can, if you use that discount code, you can get the Hindu e-paper at a extra discount. Okay, the Hindu e-paper is priced something like 29888. If you go to the Hindu website, you will be getting it for only 1299 as a promotional offer. But if you apply the discount code ClearIAS, if you apply it as such, in the space to enter the promo code, you will be getting it for 899. So this is a special offer given by Hindu for ClearIAS. We have a partnership with Hindu. That's why you are getting that code. If you apply the ClearIAS code, just enter ClearIAS in the promo code section, and will be getting the Hindu e-paper at a discount, at a better discount. Okay. And now about the plans of Hindu. Hindu has multiple plans. I think 4 plans are there, but 2 plans are relevant for UPSC aspirant. One is the Hindu e-paper 1-year plan, and the UPSC special plan is also there. What is special for UPSC special plan is that in addition to Hindu e-paper, they will also provide a digital version of Frontline. E-paper of Hindu and a digital Frontline will be there. But I feel for most aspirants, this should be enough. Like Hindu e-paper for 1 year should be enough. But if you want to write a good essay, or if you need to build your vocabulary or your essay paper or something like that, or to bring additional analysis part, if you want, you can subscribe the UPSC special pack also, because that will be getting you access for Frontline for a few additional bucks. Okay. So if you need, you can get it, or this will be fine. Any of these options should be fine for you, and the code ClearIAS will be applicable for both these packs. And this is the offer, and the Hindu e-paper can be accessed from both laptop, tablet, or mobile. And if you both Hindu e-paper and Frontline, you can get it. That is also very cheap when compared to the paper newspaper. Paper newspaper will be something like around 2,500 to 3,000 rupees will be there for annual subscription. but this will be something like 1,000 or less than that for 1 year. For 1 year. And smart work is the key. That is the summary of this session. And don't devote more than 16 minutes. And if you follow the practices, the techniques which I discuss in session, you can even finish the newspaper in 30 minutes. Okay, less than half an hour you can finish. I mean, at the maximum you spend 60 minutes, not more than one hour you should be spending on newspaper. Okay, so smart work is the key. That's it. And if you have any question or how to apply the discount code, just go through this article. We have many articles in ClearIAS which is dealing with Hindu. Just Google ClearIAS plus Hindu discount code. You will be getting an article like how to apply the discount code on Hindu and get the extra discount. So whatever you come across, just Google using the ClearIAS keyword. So you'll be getting an article corresponding that. For example, if you want to know about how to solve question papers step by step in multiple rounds, just search question paper solving techniques plus ClearIAS. We'll be getting that corresponding article. Okay, or if you want to get an article corresponding to intelligent elimination techniques, technique to solve UPSC questions without even knowing the right answer, just search in Google using the keyword intelligent elimination techniques plus ClearIAS. We'll be getting an article. Same way, for even the Hindu newspaper also, how to read Hindu newspaper, there is an article in ClearIAS. You can even go through that as well. So now, as about 1.5 hours are over, we'll be taking up questions now. Any questions, you can even use the voice chat or use the typing option also. You can take any, either way, you can ask your questions. I will be answering your questions now. Let me go through the questions you have already posted. Sir, which one you suggest, Trivandrum or Delhi publishers? Okay, it can. I prefer wherever you are. Okay, if you are from Chennai, you can opt for Chennai edition. If you are from Trivandrum, you can opt for Trivandrum edition. If you are from Delhi, you can opt for Delhi edition. Whichever area you are, it's better to take that particular edition. So that will anyway. Hindu will be covering national news also. Hindu is a national newspaper, right? So, but for better understanding of even the state level issues as well for the interview purposes and for a better experience, always subscribe the local edition of the Hindu. Whichever edition is near to you, it will be city based, right? Like it will be Trivandrum, Cochin, Chennai, Delhi, or like that. So any city edition which is near to you, that you can subscribe. Any other question which I left out? Please feel free to ask the questions in the chat section. I shall be answering that. Any doubts regarding UPSC preparation, not only with respect to newspaper reading, but regarding preparation or any mentorship, anything, any stages, be it prelims, mains, or interview, you can please open up.
Sir, good evening.
Who is this, Vishnu, or who?
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. I'm Vishnu Vardhan Reddy, sir.
Hi, Vishnu. Yeah, please open
up. Sir, regarding this, actually, I have one query, sir.
Sure.
In UPSC syllabus, we have around tentatively, I'm telling, for suppose we have 8 subjects. Okay, sir.
Okay, can you come again, Vishnu? Your voice is very feeble. I'm not able to hear completely. Can you come again?
Sir, actually for UPSC, we have 8 subjects in syllabus. Okay.
You are saying that we have 8 subjects in syllabus. Okay.
Yes. Then I can read one by one or each subject each day.
Okay. What you are asking is that if we have 8 subjects in syllabus, should we read all subjects together in a day, or should we focus only for one subject in one particular day? Is that
yes,
question?
Sir. Yes.
Okay, good. That's a good question. It's good that you asked that particular question. In my opinion, if you have 8 hours a day and if you have 8 subjects to cover, devote 1 hour for every subject. Okay, don't just focus on one subject for the entire day. That will be very you'll be having very tiring experience if you follow that. But better 1 hour, break the topics into different subjects and devote only 1 hour for one particular subject. So you'll be confident that you'll be covering multiple subjects and you'll be having a good idea of all the subjects. The mistake committed by most aspirants is that For most of the time, maybe for one month, 2 month, 3 month, etc., they will be just studying one particular subject. For example, if they are starting with history, they think that only after finishing NCRT history, I will touch another subject. That is a mistake actually. Even for covering NCRT, also many aspirants take months to cover. Okay, but ideally all the NCRT should be covered within 3 months. But to do that, the best strategy is to mix all subjects. Okay, for 1 month, 1 hour, do one subject, and the next 1 hour you cover another subject. That will be much more efficient, much more faster.
Sir, okay, sir.
Hope that's
But I
clear,
have,
Vishnu.
okay,
Oh,
sir. But I
oh,
have gone through a ClearIAS examination schedule,
oh,
ClearIAS 2021, 2022. But
correct,
there you mentioned that first of all, your schedule is like that. First history, then polity, then geography. Exam
correct.
is scheduled in such a manner. Then how can I attempt?
Yeah, that's a good question. That is a good question. In the ClearIAS, the schedule of our Prelims series is such that in the first 3 months, we will be covering all the NCRT textbooks. All the NCRTs will be covered in the first 3 months. And in the next 3 months or something, we will be covering all the standard textbooks. And then we will be moving to the advanced topics. Like all the topics will be there in the advanced section, like GS all topics, 18 GS all topics exams will be there. But your question is relevant. Like the first out of the first 7 exams which is connected with NCRTs, that will be subject wise. We put it purposefully like that because uh, to know like which subject an aspirant is having a problem. Okay, most aspirants will be having problem with one particular subject. Like it can be history, it can be geography, it can be polity, economics, or something like that. If we mix every subject together, aspirants by themselves will not be knowing like which subject they are weaker in. To know that, we have put it like that. But for when you practice, even if you are practicing for an exam, you need to do that. But if you for example, if Monday you are studying 8 subjects, and then Tuesday also you are studying the same 8 subjects, right? Like, so after 1 week, usually in ClearIAS, the exams are spanned in a time gap of 2 weeks. So within 2 weeks, if you are devoting even if one hour or 2 hour or for one particular subject, you will be able to clear that. But in the initial stages, maybe to align with the exam schedule, you can give extra focus to that particular subject mentioned in the syllabus. For example, if NCRT history is there mentioned as the next exam as per the ClearIAS timetable, you can give an extra focus for that. But still, it's better to mix particular subject. Maybe in that particular case, instead of 8 subjects, you can maybe focus on 4 subjects and then give the additional 4 hours to the exam which is upcoming. For the upcoming exam, you can give an extra focus. That's like that. But it's always better to mix multiple subjects. And when we are dealing with the GS all topics, it will be definitely a mix of all subjects in that particular exam. At that time, we can definitely follow the schedule, like mixing eight subjects or 10 to 15 subjects for the prelims with whatever time available. You can alternate that. Like after history, you need to read geography. After geography, 1 hour you read economy, then polity, science and technology, internal security, disaster management, like that. These are main topic also, but you need to do that also while doing the prelims preparation, right? That also needs to be mixed, even if that is not asked in prelims series. But you should even go through the ethics as well in 1 hour at least. Maybe in 2 days, find some time for even that also. That also should be part of your preparation. But don't entirely focus on one particular subject in one day. That is a less efficient strategy. A much more efficient strategy is mixing multiple subjects. Clear, Vishnu?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, Kaushik asking how to cover the 27 textbooks you mentioned, how to know what is important. That will take up another section because that will take a lot of time to discuss. But I will detail that. But that 27 textbooks is actually applicable for those who are joining the ultimate batch. But we'll take a section like how to cover the standard textbooks and how to cover NCRTs. That needs a separate strategy, and text by textbooks we'll be explaining. Okay. That will take up some time later. As a working professional in bank, how can I prepare efficiently for civil service? Abhinav is asking. That's a good question. So what I suggest is that working professionals don't have the luxury of too much time. Usually, a few working professionals can prepare even at the workplace by using the mobile app or laptop or something like that. But usually, most working professionals will not be getting that much time. So what they should be doing is that they should take the benefit of whatever time they have in the morning and in the evening, before the work schedule and after the work schedule, whatever time you have, take the best use of that. And in my experience, I have seen that working professionals are much more efficient in utilizing their time than the other aspirants who think that they will be having a lot of time, but they are not effectively using that. But since working professionals know themselves that they are much more serious, and they know that their time is not at their liberty, they use whatever time they have by taking the little time they get, maybe 5 minutes they get, that even that 5 minutes are also important. They use that 5 minutes time. In the break time, if they get 15 minutes, they use that 15 minutes time. So little chunks of time that adds up. Okay, it's all small time span you are getting. That is all valuable. So in the 5 minutes, if you are getting 5 minutes, take ClearIAS Prelims test series and practice 5 questions. Okay, revise 5 questions. That itself is valuable. Okay, that can add up in the long term. That all can add up. And yeah, if you are joining ClearIAS classes, the benefit ClearIAS classes is highly beneficial for even working professionals. It's actually really beneficial to working professionals because you are getting the recorded classes of the live classes, and you can match it at like 1.5x speed or 2x speed, and that will be helpful for you to understand all concepts in a much more efficient way. So there are nowadays, it's actually even working professionals have many techniques, many strategies that can be used. And if you need a special session for working professionals, please let me know. We can even arrange a session like dedicated entirely to working professionals. How can different techniques that can be adopted by working professionals to crack the blues? But to help you in a summarized manner, what I'm saying is that whatever little time you are getting in the morning and the evening or in the afternoon, use that. And there are many working professionals who have done extremely well when they are working, and when they have taken leave or quit their job and started preparing, they are not that efficient. But along with work you can do, but maybe before prelims or mains you can take a leave and prepare. Otherwise, it's better always to have a backup. I always recommend that. If you have a job in hand, that is a good thing, because we have already proved that you are good for a job, right? Like, so then we are good for civil services as well. Any questions? Voice chat also can be used, or you can type as well. I hope I have answered your query, Abhinav. And Spectrum for Modern History is definitely Spectrum is a good book, and we have other books as well for Indian history. The book published by McGraw-Hill by Snehal Tripathi, that is also a good book. We have listed. If you go to either you can download. You can do this. Okay, you can download ClearIAS Learning app from the Google Play Store. That's a free app. In that we have listed everything that is needed for beginners and veteran. Right? It's a complete app. Okay. In that is a section for IAS books. We go through that IAS books. We have listed the main books which we feel good for UPSC aspirants. Nowadays, we have not just included the traditional kind of books, but we have included all the recent books. After going through that, when we find it as good and useful for UPSC aspirants, we have mentioned it as in the IAS book section in the ClearIAS Learning app. Please take a look at that. Sir, will the promo code of Hindu e-paper subscription be activated after this section? I can't avail it at present as it seems to be invalid. That is already valid, Sanchit, but you need to apply it only for the Hindu e-paper code as well as the UPSC special code. On other plans, it is not valid. It's valid only for the two plans, the Hindu e-paper as well as the UPSC special. If you're finding it any difficult, you can drop an email with screenshots to contact us at clearias.com. We'll look into that. Our email ID, support email ID is contact us at clearias.com for any issues with respect to the Hindu e-paper subscription or any other programs with respect to ClearIAS. You can drop an email to our support team. We'll be quick to respond and we'll help you. For better clarification, if possible, include a screenshot as well. Now, who is the next to ask the question? It's almost time. We are about to end the session. We shall wind up in 5 to 10 minutes. Any other inputs from any aspirants? Hope the session is useful to you. Any feedback regarding that, or any feedback regarding the upcoming session? Also, you can mention in the chat. Okay, or you can even drop an email like which session you want, be it free or be it paid. which session you want to be added. What is your requirement? Please let me know. We'll include those sessions. Mostly free session, as free sessions itself, we can include that so that many aspirants can take the benefit of that. If you bring some civil servant to the session, or if you need any particular mentorship session or any subject-wise session, be it prelims, mains, or interview, if you need anything, please let us know. We'll bring some such sessions in ClearIAS classes platform. I hope you have all downloaded ClearIAS classes app as well. We have 3 apps. Hope you know. You can go to the Google Play Store and download all the 3 apps. Now, answer writing and essay writing session. Okay, answer writing and essay writing session, we'll definitely do that. We'll do that. Any suggestions for mains that also can be done. Mains and prelims, prelims and interview, all 3 different stages and different strategies are there. And we definitely have many techniques and strategies for every stages. We'll be doing sessions for that. Keeping it okay, are NCERT standard textbooks, current affairs, previous year question papers enough? Keeping it simple is a good idea. Yes, definitely keeping it simple is a good idea. And whatever you mentioned are also good sources. NCERTs are good sources. Standard textbooks are good sources. Previous year question papers are good sources. But I never say that anything is enough with respect to UPSC, because there is, with respect to UPSC, nothing is enough, because there can be always questions outside what you prepare. That is the thing. But as I mentioned before, don't aim for 100% perfection with respect to UPSC. A 70% perfection should be fine. With respect to prelims, your target should be to get 70 questions correct out of the 100 questions. Okay, even if you are answering 70 questions correct, and if you are making you're marking your answers wrong in the remaining 30 questions, you will still end up with 120 marks. That will be well above the cutoff. So there is nothing like it be enough, but it should be enough to clear the certain strategies. If you adopt, that will be enough to clear the cutoff with respect to prelims. But with respect to mains, we cannot such a strategy, because with respect to mains, just not clearing is not enough, right? Like, you need to score well, you need to get a good marks. In that perspective, you need to invest more. You need to use your time and resources wisely. So there's no need to limit your resources, but it should be a proportional use, like as I told. That's why we are mentioning, like, you should refer 27 textbooks. That is not just for prelims, okay? For mains and interview, to maximize your marks, you need to refer more. Don't limit to a few sources, but that should be only after you are thorough with the basics. Only once you are thorough with the NCERTs and the previous year questions and the basic things, if you have covered, if you have time, don't limit yourself. You can go for extra resources. But without doing the basic stuff, and if you are only focusing on the advanced topic, that is not a good strategy. Durgappa, Sarah, if I am writing UPSC exam this year, means should I focus previous year current affairs or currently current affairs? Okay, that is also a good question. I think I have explained before also. Current affairs is a topic which is largely misunderstood by many aspirants. Okay, the span of current affairs is not just 1 year. Most aspirants do is that they like, okay, this is also something which I should be adding. Like we have also discussed about the current affairs magazines, right? Like, anyway, you should be reading newspapers, but current affairs magazines are also kind of good. But what my point is that you should not just depend on the current affairs magazines alone. You can refer it on a monthly basis. Maybe after 1 month, to brush up all the important current affairs, you can definitely go through any good current affairs magazines available. I am not against current affairs magazines, but the thing is that you should not just depend on current affairs and not reading newspapers. Not reading Hindu newspaper is not a good strategy. You should be clubbing both. That is what I'm saying. Take the best out of both. Now, about the span of the current affairs, that should be read. But what most aspirants do is that they will be limiting their current affairs preparation with respect to only last 1 year, because that is the material that is available to most of aspirants, but they will be limiting to just 1 year. But with respect to UPSC, be it prelims or be it mains, the span of the current affairs is something like 4 years, 5 years. Okay, even the last 5 years current affairs issue, which is not in news now, the UPSC will pick questions like that. They might be relevant in the previous years, but nowadays those topics might not be in news as such, but that can come in news. So with respect to current affairs, keep in mind that you should not limit to just 1 year. The span of your current affairs should be something like 5 years. And how to prepare current affairs in a span of 5 years? That is a good question. And one thing which I suggest is ClearIAS current affairs capsules. We have something like a PDF format, ebook format. For free, we are providing a ebook, ClearIAS current affairs capsule. We have back issues of that. That is in MCQ format. It won't take much time for you to go through that. Definitely go through that. That will definitely help you. And one or two questions we can take up, and we can wind up this session. Maximum 2 questions, so that we can wind up for today, and we'll meet again. I will also be taking mentorship sessions, and I will be also taking certain subjects for you. We'll meet up again, but time being, okay, I will take up Abhinav's question. There are certain technical terms like ex gratia in newspapers. So which books should read before starting newspaper to understand? If you are coming across certain technical terms, if you are finding difficult, okay, don't Google for everything. But for certain names, like if you are not able to understand the meaning of ex gratia, just Google that keyword. Okay, just Google that keyword, and you will get the meaning of that. Then read the entire article. Don't go for any other book or something like read. This is nothing necessary like that. You can even take NCERT books and standard textbooks also in parallel. There is no written golden rule that only after you finishing all NCERTs you should pick standard textbooks. There is nothing like that. If you feel reading a standard textbook, you can read along that. Anyway, you are all graduates. Like NCERT books are books which are below the 12th standard level. Since you are a graduate, you are good enough to read standard textbooks also at first. But certain topics to build the basics, NCERTs are good. That's it. But if you feel that you can understand standard textbooks, you can definitely read standard textbooks as well. But certain questions will be directly picked from the NCERTs that may not be there in the standard textbooks. That's why we are advising aspirants to read both NCERT textbooks and standard textbooks. And the last question: how much luck is involved in clearing IAS? Kaushik, that is a really good question to end up this session. Luck is definitely there, Kaushik. I won't deny that luck is there because to clear UPSC, many things has to fall in the right place. Okay, fall in the right place in the sense that Prelims. I won't say that luck is too much important, because if you are good enough in knowing the subjects, if you have good subject knowledge, if your knowledge level is really good, and if you have the exam skills also, you can clear Prelims. Okay, luck is there. Maybe if you mark a wrong question, if you're in the borderline, luck is there. One question, if you're marking it right, you will be into the mains list, and otherwise you will be out of the race. But with respect to mains and interview, luck is a factor is there. With respect to the bright candidates, okay, luck will not help a poorly prepared candidate to get into service. But with respect to the smart aspirants who prepared hard, out of that, all those bright candidates, the one with a little luck, he will be the one in service, because he needs to score good marks in essay, GS, optionals, and interview. Okay, so whenever all these all items fall in right place with good marks, he will be in service. Or otherwise, any in essay or ethics or optional, it should be an exceptional mark. But in certain is because all these are subjective. Okay, maybe in the interview day, if one candidate falls sick or something, he might that is entirely bad luck, right? Maybe anything like it can happen between that. But that's why UPSC has given multiple chances. Even those who are having bad luck on one particular day, or the exam hall, if somebody is having a fever or something and not able to write the mains exam, that is just entirely bad luck. But that will not happen. That will not repeat year after year. But for the next year, if he tries again, he will be able to clear it. So to an extent there, but luck will not help any poorly prepared candidate to get into service. But it can affect certain hardworking candidates not to clear in the first time. But definitely, as I told in the first session, this is a veterans exam, and those who perceive and do the hard work, smart work, repeat again and again, they will definitely succeed. Okay, luck favors the bold. That's the statement. I will do a session for beginners as well, Shreya. I hope we can wind up with that thing. They're not on the luck. I wish you all good luck and wish you all attend the coming sessions as well. Thanks a lot for attending. Thanks a lot for your patience. I hope you are benefited with the session. Thanks a lot. Any feedback, you can email us. Thanks a lot.